Parak HaMakabel Soda Mechaveroi, Daf Kuftes Zayin, sponsored Lilui Nishmas, Batya Bas Aryalev. The Gemara brings a brisa supporting Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. A creditor who exacted the 2 parts of a millstone as a security is liable to 2 sets of lashes, but not an additional set for the general prohibition, ki nefesh hu chovel. The brisa discusses a pair of scissors that consists of 2 attached blades and a yoke of at least 2 attached parts. He is liable for 2 sets of lashes in these cases as well, even though both parts together have only one function. The Gemara now brings a machlokas concerning one who exacted a chalif. A shchita knife is a security, a utensil used in food preparation. Rava holds he can demand payment up to the value of the knife based on amigo. He could have claimed he purchased it. Abaya ruled he must return it and prove in court he loaned him the money. He distinguishes between utensils generally lent or rented, such as a shchita knife, where he has no claim it was purchased, and goats that are not generally lent or rented, where he has such a claim. Rava holds a shchita knife is not a utensil generally lent or rented, since a slight nick disqualifies it. Now we begin the new parak Abayis V'Aliyah. We start with the Mishnah. The Mishnah discusses how to divide rubble of a collapsed 2-story house. 1 tenant living on the first floor and 1 living on the second. The Mishnah states in the Reisha, they divide the stones, wood, and the earth used to cement the stones. Some of the stones are whole, and some are broken. The Mishnah states, in the Seifa, an inspector determines who is entitled to the unbroken stones. In addition, if one party recognized the stones, he is entitled to them. They are then deducted from his whole share. The first point of the Gemara is to reconcile a contradiction between the Reisha and the Seifa. According to the Seifa, an inspector can determine by way of the house collapsed who is entitled to the unbroken stones. If the house collapsed due to downward pressure, apparently the stones of the lower floor broke and the stones of the upper floor fell on them. The second-story tenant is entitled to the unbroken stones. If, however, the house collapsed sideways from winds, then the determination is based on the distance the stones fell. The stones of the second floor fell farther and are assumed to be the broken ones. According to the Reisha, the law is to divide. However, the house collapsed. The Gemara explains that the Reisha discusses a circumstance where an inspector cannot determine the manner it collapsed. It happened during the night when there were no witnesses to its collapse. There was nobody to inquire about its fallen state because the rubble was cleared away by bystanders who subsequently went home. Their present location indicated nothing about their ownership. They left the rubble in a joint courtyard or in a public domain or even in the courtyard of one of the tenants. Joint owners of a house are not particular about leaving things on each other's property. The Gemara now discusses the next law in the Mishnah, that if one of the tenants recognizes his stones, he is entitled to them. The Gemara explains the cases where the other tenant is uncertain about his claim. Although Rav Nachman holds that if a lender claims a tainis bari, he is certain that a borrower owes him money, and the borrower claims shema, he is uncertain, he is not liable to pay. However, this is true only in a case where the defendant does not require an oath. However, where the defendant admits to have the claim and is uncertain about the remainder, he must swear concerning the remainder of the debt. If he cannot swear, he must pay. Our case is where one tenant admitted to the claim of the other concerning some of the stones and was uncertain about the others. Since he cannot swear, he must pay. The final point of the Gemara in this Mishnah is concerning the whole stones the tenant identifies counts towards his share, the share of broken or unbroken. Rava holds they are deducted from his share of the broken. According to Rava, one who identifies some is better off than one who does not identify any of his stones. Abaya holds when he recognizes less than his proportionate share, the assumption is the rest belongs to the other tenant. Therefore, the court deducts those he identified from his share, of the unbroken stones. He still benefits when identifying larger or better quality stones. If you're enjoying Daf in 5, please subscribe.